little while. All right, let me
No,
just...
yes, Dibal. I can hear you very well.
You
I
had more
can hear
question, right?
you.
So you had my
I can hear.
question.
Can you repeat it again? Sorry.
I was just asking simply, what does this allegations from the president portend for the relationship between the legislature and the executive? Do you think it's going to drive a word chasm? Because at the end of the day, they need he needs the support.
Yeah,
of the...
I get your point. One, I agree with is it Josephine, the lady who made submissions that the fight against corruption should not be individualized. We should fight it as a united front, as Kenyans, the way we stood with Harambee Stars during the Chan tournaments that was concluded. And Dibala, I forgot to say, I was also disappointed. I'm told this is how my new fans feel every weekend when they lose, but that is a story for another day. Secondly, I want to dissuade ourselves from making wild and even if you have a particular political persuasion or religion or tribe, let us be factual sometimes and objective so that we can, the problem, let us not use emotions to build the future of our country. Let us be objective. Let us be people who respect the rule of law so that this country can go far. Secondly, I want to assure you from where I sit as member of parliament. One, there is a principle of separation of powers. But that one does not mean that the three arms of government cannot work together. What we do is we complement each other. There can be no parliament without executive or judicial because the executive implements, the parliament is law-making house, and judiciary interprets the law. So we are independent. We must coexist, and we must coexist with a principle of symbiotic relationship, of complementing each other. The bottom line, the ball is we are serving Wanjiku. All of us, the three arms of government, including private sector, including media, we are serving that Kenyan, that Wanjiku. Let me use that principle. Secondly, the relationship between executive and parliament will continue being cordial because we need the policies and the law we pass in the House to be implemented and assented by the president and the national executive. So I can assure you from where I sit, the relationship between parliament, and I know I saw my colleagues today in Nairobi shouting horse because the people, they are operating the principle of the story of an hyena following a man. And the man was swinging the hand. The hyena thought that arm will fall off so that he can have something to eat. And I saw my colleagues today in some church in Nairobi, the ones that my brother Ndegwa calling them united oppositions, trying to cast aspersions and says now the relationship between the national as the parliament and the executive will deteriorate. And I know even after the statement that the president made, you saw the united opposition members of parliament trying to and corruption. You know what shocks me? The ball is funny. Corruption is not only about bribe taking or money or plundering resources. Corruption is even when you are elected by UDA and you start selling the agenda of DCP, it is corruption. When you are elected by ODM and you try to sell another agenda of another political party. So where I sit, I can assure you the ball and take it to the bank. The relationship between the president, executive with the parliament will continue being respectful, will continue complementing each other for the benefits of Kenyans. I know and I'm aware that even many bills that we have passed, including share bills, including reforms in education funding model, including budget making process, we are continuing to work closely with the national executive. And I am happy that we, as a parliamentary group, we normally have retreat with the national executive to discuss the issue of implementation of government programs. Even you saw the National Assembly leadership having a sitting with judiciary. They were sitting with the police and other independent commissions. They are sitting with the executive led by the PCS so that they can have a conversation going into the future. So I want to assure you, I don't see anything out of the blue. There is nothing to be alarmed about. And that is why we need to, in fact, the relationship between executive and parliament cannot deteriorate because we need now the information that the president shared with us in parliamentary group on who these members of parliament that are facing corruption allegation. And by the way, I forgot to tell this panel and distinguished ladies and gentlemen that there was a communication, and I know the value, you are aware of the communication from the Speaker of the Senate that indicated as the Speaker of the Senate, the head of the Senate, and as the chairperson of parliamentary powers and privileges, he has not received any complaint against any senator. And it is unanswered. Anybody can retrieve. Number two, you saw the Speaker of the National Assembly saying that he has received some information on the conduct of members of parliament. So the question we needed to know whether is it corruption related or the general misconduct, including ethical misbehavior of some individual members of parliament. The bottom line is we don't need to do blanket condemnation. We don't need to make blanket statements. Let everybody carry their own cross. If you have violated the law, if you have committed criminal offenses, you should be adjudged. So, and I want to insist, I know going into the future, I want to say, I've had my colleagues saying, oh, the parliamentary group meeting was being called so that to discuss the sale of Kenya pipeline. I want to strongly reject such assertion. Because one, the BAL, am a member of United Democratic Alliance, a ranking member, a member of Kenya Kwanza. The agenda, the people who are making those wild allegations should ask us what was the agenda. Because the agenda, and I know Frederick might be aware, was one to discuss on the follow-up on the implementation of the NADCO report and presentation of the Secretariat on the 10-point agenda that was being signed between Kenya Kwanza and ODM after the engagement of broad-based. So I can confirm, these rumors that my brother is trying to peddle by saying he is aware, no one discussed anything. In fact, another agenda that was supposed to be discussed, the ban, was members of National Assembly really wanted to be on the agenda, was the entrenchment of national government Constituency Development Fund, the constitutional amendment that they have brought before the Senate. The members of National Assembly wanted to put that agenda on the table, but it was not possible. So the agendas that we discussed, because it was in any way in public, so that we don't have our friends misleading the public, was the issue of the status of elimination of 10-point agenda of the NADCO report that was presented by former Senator Agnesani, and the Secretariat shared their insights and requested for the support. Then the issue of corruption, and then we adjourned the meeting and until further notice. And I know going into the future and confirm that we are planning for a retreat for the broad-based stakeholders, government, so that we can sit and agree, so that we can see what we can do for this country. So it is not correct that on the table, and I want to correct my brother. The agenda and the BAL, let us be honest with Kenyans. The agenda of parliament is determined by the House Business Committee chaired by the Speaker. The agenda of Senate is discussed at Senate Business Committee. So anything, and by the way, for the information of Ndegwa, as a point of information, the House Business Committee and the Senate Business Committee, the members of minority or what we call opposition, you would want to say that, sit in that. In fact, Mbui, who is a close friend, Honorable Mbui of Kathiani, is a member of House Business Committee. So any agenda on the order paper in the National Assembly and the Senate is sanctioned by business committees that members of the minority, some of them who are in opposition or perceived they are now in United, sit in that committee. So the president or the former prime minister does not determine the order of business in any house. So let us stop this, and he knows very well. He's just saying this for the convenience of just appearing for popularity contest. So please, and that is why even in NATCO report, the BAL, in conclusion, we sat and we try to pass the laws that will assist in I have heard him alluding to the by-elections and elections. As a parliament, we have passed the elections amendment laws that will assist the easy management. And he knows, and I think at the article, is it 88 or 80, that any election must be verifiable, easy, and of course transparent, and with integrity and credibility. We have done that. And many other policies that we are putting in place, including the Tony issue of compensation against the extrajudicial killings that Kenyans have been killed, unfortunately, either by rogue police officers, was the follow-up on the compensation to families, the reparations to businesses. Those are some of the things. And by the way, the country